Hi, my curious learners. So once again, welcome back to your grammar sessions, and we are at your own favorite learning platform by now, Learn Forward, with your grammar book, The Grammar Hub for Grade 8 by Feather Cap. And the next topic today is chapter 5 of your book, in which we'll know in detail about auxiliary verbs. Are you excited? Let's start the journey. Underline the verbs in the following sentences. I know it's very easy for you. Yes, good. Tina played. So played is the verb here. The boy ate with great eagerness. Okay. We all consider her deserving. Consider is the verb here. Hina kept the papers in the drawer. Yes, perfect. And then, yes, you are right there. Found is the verb in this sentence. I found my brother sleeping in the room. So you are perfect at picking up the verbs. That's great, students. We'll start the journey on verbs ahead, the auxiliary verbs. So I just told you that we have the main verb that is called the principal verb, and then we have the auxiliary verbs which are also called the helping verbs. So principal verb is the main action in the sentence and auxiliary verb is the helping verb. When do you help? It's only when somebody is doing the main action, then only a helping hand is lent, right? So you lend a helping hand only when somebody is doing the main task. So that main work is done by the principal verb or the main verb, and the auxiliary verb, the helping verb, is supporting in getting the correct tense formation there, right? So we have auxiliary verbs in two forms, the primary auxiliaries and the modal auxiliary verbs. So what are primary auxiliaries and the modal auxiliary verbs? We have three primary auxiliaries. What are those? It is do, be, and have. We have already learned that be shows existence. And what are the forms of be? Is, are, am, was, were, will be, shall be. And what are the forms of have? Has, have, had. Now, do is also used as an auxiliary, primary auxiliary. And the forms of do are do, does, and did. They are used as primary auxiliaries also. Although do is a main verb also, but this is also used as primary auxiliary when it supports some other main principal verb in making the tense structure complete. Okay. So what are the usage of primary auxiliaries? They are used to form negative sentence structures. Like when you say a sentence, I learnt my lesson well. When you say negative, how do you say? I didn't learn my lesson well. If you say in present, you say, I don't go on a walk daily. I don't go for a walk daily, right? So these primary auxiliaries help in making the negative sentences. I don't want to eat now. I haven't read this story yet. To form interrogative sentences also. So, I told you how important the helping verbs are when you have to make the sentences negative or interrogative. They are so important that in simple present and simple past, you don't have any helping verb in the verb structure. Still, because you need them, the helping verb, so we introduce from our side. So this is where your do form of auxiliary verb, that is the primary auxiliary, helps. So when you say the sentences in interrogative, you say like, do you want to eat now? Are you going to the party? So this is where you use your helping verbs, the primary auxiliaries. To express different tense forms, like if you say, I am working today, so am here is supporting you to complete your present continuous structure. I have worked there, it's supporting you to complete your present perfect structure. Present perfect progressive tense in that I have been working since morning. So here have been is your auxiliary verb, right? So this is how the primary auxiliaries help you. Now we'll be doing them one by one. Usage of primary auxiliary verb do. So this is the first primary auxiliary, and how is it used? We have already learned that this is used in singular or plural subject. It is used in making the sentences interrogative, right? When do you use do? we use do when the in simple present tense the subject is plural, the subject is first person or second person. With all those we use do. Do I know you? Do we work together? I don't think so. For the negative as well as interrogative structures. When the second person pronoun we are talking about, then also we use do. Do you want it? You don't need to tell anyone. So interrogative also and in negative also we are using this. The third person plural subject also we use do. Do they help you? They don't like it. So we are using do and do not in its contracted form. Now does is used when we talk about the singular subject only. So does is used to make the sentences negative and interrogative when the subject is singular. Does she work here? She doesn't know him. Does he know you? So this is how the verb does is helping us in the structure of, in completing the structure of negative and interrogative sentences with singular subject. Now the same, the past tense of this did is used when we talk about simple past tense the same way. So when we are making the sentences in simple past tense, whatever the subject may be, when we are making them interrogative or when we are making them negative, we use did as the auxiliary verb. Did you go there? Did she finish her dance program on time? And you didn't tell us this before, right? So this is about the primary auxiliary verb do. Now the second primary auxiliary we have learnt about is have, and the third one we will be doing is be form, right? So what about have, had? These are the forms of have, and they are also used in making the tense structure complete. They are used in perfect tense, perfect or perfect continuous, like I have visited. So it is supporting in getting the present perfect tense structure complete. They had completed. This is the past perfect structure completed, right? Now talking about the main auxiliary verb be. The forms we have just revised is, are, am, was, were. These are the forms of be in present and past. So these are also used to just to make the tense structure complete in progressive or the continuous tense. When you talk about present continuous, you say is, are, am with the ing verb, like we are going. So going is the main action here, main principal verb, and are is giving it a complete structure in present continuous. Rohit was saying, so that gives you the past continuous structure. And then the be form is also used in the passive form, followed by the third form of verb that we have already learned in active passive in previous grade. So she is given. So do you remember that in passive form always the third form of verb is used? So here also third form is used. You were informed, right? So in passive structure also the be form of auxiliary helps us. Now, if you have just understood all this, we have exercises for you. Fill in the blanks with appropriate primary auxiliary verbs. So, what are the primary auxiliary verbs we have learned? Do, have, and be. So, these three we will be using here in whichever form needed. She dash working very hard to complete the project work. Yes, she is working very hard. Next, Mr. Sharma dash always guided me in taking important decisions. You see here we are using the third form of verb. So, yes, perfect, has always guided. Dash, you planning to call her today or tomorrow? It's interrogative sentence with a question mark at the end, and you see it's the ing main form of verb. So, it means we are talking in continuous tense. So, are you planning? Right? Next, I dash cleaning the room right now. That means I am cleaning the room right now. John dash not want to go out for a vacation this year. John is singular. So, does not. Right? This is the only possibility because we are talking about this year. and it is not showing progressive, so we cannot use be. It's not showing perfect, so we cannot use have. We are left with only do because it's singular, so we'll be using does, right? Let's move to the next. Turn the following statements into questions using forms of auxiliary verbs do. We have already learned about changing the tenses into interrogative sentences in your previous classes, previous grades. So let's see how much you remember from there also. Nikita danced beautifully. This is past tense. So how will you start your sentence? Did, right? They are asking you to use the auxiliary verb do. So what's the past tense of do? Did. Did Nikita danced? No, we are already using past tense here. Two past tense, the helping verb and the main verb together cannot be in the same tense, may be present or past, right? So it will be did Nikita, and you will use the first form, root form. Did Nikita dance beautifully? Okay, coming to next. Sonam works in a large organization. Now here, which tense is it? Present. So how will you start? Very nice. Does Sonam. Again, what you will remember is this is S. Already you have used with the helping verb. So we will remove from here. Does Sonam work in a large organization? And a full stop. Oh, sorry. And a question mark at the end because it's interrogative. I really find this interesting. Good. Do I really find, because the sentence was in simple present tense. I got the perfect answer from you. This interesting. Question mark. Next. They took the last flight to Mumbai. Very good, simple past tense. Did they? What is the root form of took? Take. Good. Did they take the last flight to Mumbai? And the last but not the least, in 1930, Gandhiji led the Dandi March to protest against the salt tax. Now, here again it is past tense. So, did Gandhiji lead the Dandi March to protest Dandi March in 1930 to protest against the salt tax. Where here we have made the yes no question type, children. You can also make the interrogative WH question word type here. Like you can say, when did Gandhiji lead the Dandi March? Or you can say, why did Gandhiji lead the Dandi March in 1930? So your question gets transformed into the WH question type, right? So here I have changed it into the yes no question type. Okay. So any way you can transform, we can use any of the question verbs and question words, and then we can shorten these interrogative sentences, right? So coming next is modal auxiliaries. We have already learnt about primary auxiliaries. There are three primary auxiliaries: do, have, and be. Now what about the modal auxiliaries? Modal auxiliaries are the words that show the mood of the speaker, in what context the person is saying. So modal auxiliaries are the words that help the main verb in communicating the speaker's compulsion, willingness, necessity, possibility, prediction, promise, speculation, deduction, and so on. So it signifies in what context, what's the mood of the speaker, right? So modal auxiliaries are these. And the most commonly used modals are can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, ought to, need, dare, right? So these are some commonly used modal auxiliaries. Like, I'll go to the office today, that means it is showing your certainty of going there. But when you say, I might go to the office today, it means possibility is there, but then you are not sure about this. I can go to office today, that is showing your ability, right? Might be you were not well, you were not going, you can join back now. So that shows your ability now. So see, the sentence is same. I go to office today, go to office today, go to office today. But with the change in this modal auxiliary, what the mood of the speaker gets notified here. When you use will, it shows you are certain about it. When you say might, means possibility is there. And when you say can, that means you are talking about your ability, right? So non-modal auxiliaries like do, have, and forms of be, they can be used as the main verb also in some sentences. Like when I say she is a teacher, so here the word is, the be form is not being used as auxiliary because there is no other main verb, no main action being talked about. So when there is no main action, how can you say that the other verb is the helping verb? Always remember, help comes only when we have something in main, right? When we have a principal verb there. Otherwise, these verbs also behave like the principal verbs. I do my work daily. So what is do here? Do is the main verb here. It's not supporting any other verb, any other action. So here also this works like the main verb. So non-modal auxiliaries like do, have, and the forms of be, they can be used as main verbs in some sentences. Now, modal auxiliaries can only be used in the helping form. You cannot use these of the modal auxiliaries that have been listed here and many more as the main verbs in the sentence, but the primary auxiliaries can be used as the main verb. Now, learning ahead, we have the structure of modal auxiliaries. They are used along with the base form. Always remember that the modal auxiliaries are written with the first form, the root form of whatever main verb you are talking about, with the base form of the main verb. And without to, this is known as the bare infinitive. We have already learned earlier that bare infinitives do not carry to, right? So when the verb is in its root form with a modal auxiliary, that is called a bare infinitive, children. So I can help you. Here can is the modal auxiliary and help is your bare infinitive. Will she go tomorrow? Again, will is the modal auxiliary and go is the bare infinitive. What shall I do now? Here, shall is your modal auxiliary and do is your bare infinitive. That is the main action here. You may not go now. So, may here is the modal auxiliary and go is the bare infinitive, right? So, this is how the structure of modal auxiliaries is taken. The modal verb in each example is used along with the base form of the main verb here, as you have already seen. So these all are the base forms of the verbs. Now, we may therefore say that the structure of a sentence using a modal auxiliary is, how is it used? In affirmative sentences, you just use the modal auxiliary followed by bare infinitive. When you talk about interrogative sentences, you use the modal auxiliary, then the subject. It's just like the helping verb goes before the subject when we write interrogative sentences. And these are also helping verbs. So the modal auxiliary comes before the subject and then comes your main verb, that is in the bare infinitive form. The WH questions. So when you have WH questions, WH question will go even before your modal auxiliary. So the verb word, the modal auxiliary followed by subject and then the bare infinitive. And finally, when you have to write the negative sentences, we have the subject followed by your modal auxiliary, then comes not, and then the bare infinitive. So this is the structure of sentences when we are using the modal auxiliaries. We still have a lot to learn about what are the different modal auxiliaries and when and why do we use them. We'll be coming up with yet another session on modal auxiliaries. Till then, happy learning, children.